Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey, y'all. It's me, Tamara. Yes. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to the show. Y'all, my bad for not dropping an episode last week, but listen, your girl was sick, and here's the thing. I used to be, my OG listeners know, I used to never, ever miss a week. Like, it might be a few days late, but I would never miss a week. However, earlier this year, when I took a month off, that really freed me from all that. Now, don't get me wrong. I enjoy creating the content and I don't want to intentionally miss a week because I enjoy doing this. However, I was sick. And so being sick put me behind on work. Had to definitely prioritize that. Plus, we were prepping for Christmas Eve. Now, when you are in ministry, Christmas Eve is like a big deal, especially at the church that I work at, which is still weird to say sometimes because I've been going to this church for like 10 years prior to, being on staff, but, whatever. So I don't know if your church does Christmas Eve, services. That's what people typically call it. We call it encounters, but I don't know if y'all do anything on Christmas Eve. But one thing about my church is we are going to do something on Christmas Eve, regardless of what day Christmas Eve is. And it doesn't mean that we're not going to do something on the Sunday prior to Christmas Eve. Now, I don't know what that will look like if Christmas Eve is on a Monday, because I can't remember. But what I do know is that we had church on Sunday and then we had church on Christmas Eve, which is on a Tuesday this year, as you know. And here's the thing. We have 2 campuses now, so that's new. So there was 12, 2, and 4 at our main campus, and then 4 p.m. only at our newer campus, because, it's newer and still building. And so with that, it's like there's just so much that goes into it, especially us being a church that is very creative, has a lot of, different content elements and stuff like that. Then I'm also prepping for things that are going to start the year off and all this stuff. So it's kind of like we are off right now. Thank God we get a week off from Christmas to New Year's. And it's the only extended time off that we get. Now, don't get me wrong, we do get holidays off except Easter because, Jesus rose from the dead. That's a big deal. You feel me? But that aside, we have holidays off, but it'll be like just a day. But we get this week off, so that's really, really nice. But yeah, it was just, I was sick. I'm still honestly not 100%, you know what I mean? But man, I am feeling way better than I was before because there was a point when I had body aches and just fatigue. It was, it was weird though, because leading up to it, it's like I was fake sick. That's how I said it, because I had a runny nose a little bit, dry cough here and there, it was weird. And then I was real sick and I was like, bruh, this is crazy. You know what I mean? It was I don't know if it was the flu, but I wonder because a lot of people around me got sick, and I wonder, I take some kind of I drink ginger, honey, citrus tea every day, right? And I wonder if I wasn't doing stuff like that, if it would have been worse. I wonder stuff like that. But anyways, I'm back and it's wild because 2025 is almost here. It's just so weird to me how time seems to go so slow when you're in the midst of it. But then when you look back, I'm like, where did the year go? Like, I remember when I first started, being on full-time staff. I remember when I stopped doing the subcontracting. I remember when there was those few weeks when I didn't have a car because the car that I had was a work vehicle. Then I remember when I got one and just all these things. And then I remember when my dad passed away and just all of that. And, it's been such an interesting year, but 2024, because, this is the time of year when all the podcasters are doing our end of year recap. I saw somebody post that they said something about when you're a podcast listener, how did they say it? Like, it's tough at the end of the year because you don't get any new episodes and everybody's just doing their end of year recap. But see, for the thing about my show is every show is a recap of what I learned in the last week. So like, y'all should expect that at the end of the year, as someone who is a reflective person every week, that I'm going to do that. But I just thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, 2024 definitely, wow, it was a very all over the place year. There were so many good things that happened. Like, I would say my career changed. I legit love my job, love what I get to do. So I would say that was definitely a positive. I would say that finally rebuilding my room, like I still have furniture that's in storage. So we'll just say all together, finally rebuilding the furniture that had got destroyed in the storage unit that we had it in before. So finally, like, having some restoration with that and feeling like I have what I need and this, that, and the other, that is definitely a positive. Having my own vehicle again, because I had that work car for a while and didn't have one prior to that for a little bit. So having my own vehicle again, definitely a positive. I would say just kind of the growth that I've had and just the freedom that I've gained, definitely a positive. But with that came through hardship and trials and tough lessons, tough conversations. Like, I know I've grown so much even at my job, just in the way that I approach how I lead my team, but that came through some tough conversations with my boss. I can think of two specific conversations. One was a little tougher because I had really just not done well with this shoot that we had, and it was really, really hard for me to hear that. And he wasn't rude. He wasn't any of those things. It's just I've never had a conversation like that at work. I've never had anyone ever say, you really didn't do what you were supposed to do. And, stuff like that. You didn't lead well. I had never heard that before at work. And so that was tough. Like, I cried after that conversation just because, yeah, I've never, as someone who's like, really responsible and really, when I know what I'm supposed to own, you don't have to worry about if it's gonna get done. You know what I mean? But it's been interesting in this job because there's so many things happening at the same time, and I've had to really navigate like how to have a good workflow. Now, granted, there's also been personal things that have happened, like my dad dying. So like all of that happening all at the same time has brought about so much growth. But yeah, some of it came through, tough conversations. And then we had another conversation recently where basically he said that how did he say it? It was about ownership and how, like, me as the marketing director, there are so many different, we'll just call them areas, that I am ultimately responsible for all of them. And for whatever reason, there was this disconnect of ownership for me where he had to say, no matter what level of involvement you have with that project, you are still the project owner. he ain't never got to tell me that again. You know what I mean? Because when it comes to ownership and responsibility, I take that very seriously in general, but especially like at work. And so, yeah, but that was still not a comfortable that was still not a comfortable conversation to have, but it was needed. And again, he's never rude. That's not the point of it. It's just, as someone who has prided herself in doing well at work, excelling, I'm always, getting promoted at every job that I've ever had. It's been very humbling at this job to have some of the conversations that I've had. And then I would also say a beautiful thing just in the last year is just my CrossFit journey. Like, I've been at the gym that I'm currently at over a year. And because we do staff workouts every Wednesday, it has really helped me to stay consistent during that. I'd say, like, after my dad died, I fell off for sure, but we had staff workout every Wednesday. So like, that would be the one time a week I'd for sure go, which I know really helped once I got to that point of, okay, let's get back to it. Let's this is helpful for you. And then even the way that we have shifted our work schedule to make sure that we can, as a team, get our workouts in, that's been super great. And what I love about that is we recently it was on the 23rd, so Monday of this week, we did the 12 days of Christmas workout. And I remember doing it last year. Now, the way that this workout goes is kind of interesting because it's like you do 1 sit-up, then 2 push-ups, 1 sit-up, then 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, just like the song 12 Days of Christmas, but there's, 12 different workout moves. And last year when I did it, because I was really, really new, I think if I remember correctly, and this is what I've been saying, so this is what I'm gonna rock with, I only was able to get to round 7. This year, I was able to get all the way through 11, and in round 12, I had just started 8, so then I would have had to do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Now, 2, 1, obviously. Now, the thing with that is that I had already done the burpees, right? Because at 10 is when you had to do burpees. So I had to do 30 burpees, which is gross. But I got so much further than a year ago. I really wanted to finish. And in hindsight, I see how I would do it differently next year, because it's going to be something we do next year. But I'll also be in stronger and whatever next year. That's the thing too, y'all. I was able to do box jumps. I can still do them, but 20-inch box jumps, that's something that I was really, really proud of, because I remember the day something in my mind was just I think I can do that. And then the people around me, that's why it's so important who you surround yourself with. And this was at a staff workout when this happened. But, my coworkers, man, I hate using that term because it's really family, especially since I was at this church for 10 years before I came on staff. That's why it's weird in my mind to sometimes say work, but it is my job. But, the team, they were encouraging me yeah, you got this, you could do this. And so I did it. And yeah, that was just such a cool highlight this year. And then even with push-ups, I'll typically do them on a box, and being able to decrease it by 6 inches, and stuff like that. So I think because I would do 30 inches before on the box, and then I was able to bring it down to 24. So just that continued growth, consistency, even making sure that I'm going, if at the very least 3 days a week. This week is going to be probably not. I'm going Friday and I'm going to go Saturday this week, because we went Monday, couldn't do Tuesday because that was Christmas Eve and they only had workouts at 8 and 9:30, and our call time for creative was 9 a.m. So there's no way I could have did that. And then obviously they were closed on Christmas. Now they do have open gym today, but I'm going to be watching Zaire. So I'm not gonna do that today, but I'm gonna go tomorrow and Saturday. And I say all that because I really have been going 3 days a week, sometimes 4, which is really what I want to get to. Is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is kind of built in because of work, but I have really enjoyed adding that Friday. That way I'm getting that 4th day in, So that's been really, really cool just, this year. And then just adding different things, like making sure I'm taking vitamins, just to do the little things that I can do to take care of myself, because it's just I'm getting older. We all are, we're all aging, but it's it doesn't mean I have to fall apart just because I'm aging, because there are so many people that do CrossFit at the gym that I go to that are, in their 60s even, and they're out here getting it, running, doing all the things. So yeah, it has definitely been a year of growth for sure. Growth is painful though. Typically, I even think about growing pains when I was little. Your legs hurt or stuff like that. And it's because, or they feel uncomfortable, and it's because you're growing. And it's just, so growth is not this, beautiful thing all the time. But this has definitely been a year of so much growth and so much just a deepening of me understanding my worth. And, it's funny, as I'm recording, I'm looking at this thing on my wall that says Daughter of the King, that I was actually given not for my birthday this year, but for my birthday last year. And once I got certain things situated in my room, I have a dresser and a nightstand, those were the last 2 pieces of furniture that needed to be replaced, that I didn't get to replace when we were in the house, because that's when we started the rebuild, right? And so once I got that, I opened this last little box that had stuff that was on my desk or whatever, and that's where I found this Daughter of the King. And it's just such this significant thing to me now, especially with my dad having passed away, and December being his birthday month, and just all the love that I've gotten this month. And, it's just been really, really cool. But yeah, as we know, this year has not been without its pain. But with that, man, the community, the people that I work with, I'm so grateful that I genuinely love them, enjoy being around them, because we spend a lot of time together, because we do so much as a team, creatively. But I have just deepened relationships with people, learned how to be more vulnerable with people. That's so important in relationships. It's uncomfortable, don't get me wrong. And sometimes things don't turn out the way that you'd hope to, or whatever, if you share this, that, or the other. But at the same time, there's so much freedom and so much beauty in allowing yourself to be fully known. And that's something that I have really just embraced this year, because living with people that I also work with has really just kind of brought that about, and brought about the need for that. And so, yeah, that has been 2024. And in 2025, I'm just looking forward to, I feel like I really established such a solid foundation for different things. And I'm just really looking forward to what is going to be built on the foundation of what I've been building in 2024. That's kind of what I'm looking forward to. Looking forward to continuing to see Zaire grow up. He's walking now. And it's funny because he been ready to walk. He been where he would crawl and then just stand up and then just kind of stand there. And I just wonder what was going through his mind, because I feel like in his mind, he was probably okay, how do I, what do I do to keep moving forward now that I'm standing up. Like, I just feel like that's how it went. And like now he's walking, and it's so cool because I watch him once a week, sometimes twice. And when I saw him last week, he was, walking, but really wasn't. And it's just a week later, he's so much more like, because I saw him on, was it Tuesday? Yeah, saw him on Tuesday. And so a week later, he's just so much more steady with walking and walking so much more. And he only crawls when he feels like he'll get there quicker, right? Because he's still learning with walking. And it's just so funny that he like makes that decision of, okay, I can do this, but I can't do this as quickly as I can do this. And I want to get there quickly, so I'm going to crawl instead. And I don't know, it's just funny. So I'm looking forward to just continuing to watch him grow up, because that's so fun. I also have a nephew now, which is so dope. And it's really cool because so within that generation, like my kids' generation, my son is the oldest. He's 25. Every, sister or cousin, my nieces, after him is all girls. So he was the only male in that generation within our family until my brother had a son a couple weeks ago. And so that's really cool. I haven't got to meet him yet because I was sick. And his mom doesn't live here in town. So, there's that traveling and, all that. And it's like winter time. So I haven't met him yet in person because he was sick. But I'll meet him tomorrow or whatever. So that's super cool. Just having a nephew after only having nieces. Don't get me wrong. I love my nieces, but it's just kind of cool for there to be another male, in that generation. So yeah, that has kind of been 2024. And I mean, 2024 technically isn't over, so who knows what'll happen in this next week, but wanted to go ahead and do this recap now because it is the end of the year, and by the time y'all hear from me again, it'll be 2025. So I hope y'all had a amazing Christmas, holiday season, if you celebrate Kwanzaa or Hanukkah or whatever. I just hope you had a lot of beautiful time with your family and friends, good food, great memories and laughter. Man, I'm looking forward to the new year. Y'all stay safe. As always, make sure you take care of yourself mentally. Make sure you are taking care of yourself emotionally and spiritually and physically, like even getting good sleep and, being mindful of what you're consuming. I'm not saying you got to be all super strict, but just be aware that what you eat is going to affect you. That's kind of like how I've been viewing it, is like, if I eat a bunch of crappy food, I'm going to feel really lethargic, and I really don't have time for that with all that I'm trying to accomplish. You know what I mean? And then with alcohol, I'll drink here and there, but sometimes I wonder, like, what am I actually putting in my body when I drink this? You know what I mean? Like, so it's just really interesting how I view things a little bit differently. It could be because I'm getting older, but it also could be just I'm more in tune with how different things make me feel. And so, yeah. So I love y'all so much. Thank you for tuning in, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for